Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here. Today I want to give you my predictions for E3 2016. I have predictions for the Sony conference, Xbox conference, Nintendo streams. I'm not doing conference, but for their streams, as well as something for the Bethesda conference that's happening on Sunday. So we'll start off in the order in which they're happening. We're going to go with the Bethesda conference first. I have one prediction for this conference to get out of the way, and that is with the success of Doom and how well that game is doing. And I mean, they're improving the multiplayer now, but the single player campaign was phenomenal, incredible. If you haven't played it already, I suggest you go do it. But with the success of Doom, I think it's proving that arena shooters are back, and shooters with like really cool campaigns are back. So what I'd love to see is Quake 5. Now, for those of you who know me, I'm a huge Quake fan. You know that. I still play Quake Live every now and again. I played it for a long time, played Quake 3, played Quake 2, played Quake 1. I unfortunately couldn't play Quake 4 because my computer at the time couldn't handle it, but I want to see Quake 5, and I think now is the time. Will it happen? I don't know, but there have just been so many like rumors, people have been pining for it for so long, and with the Doom reboot, it just seems like, okay, let's do Quake next. And we have Wolfenstein, we have Doom, we need Quake. Quake has to happen. Next up is the Xbox conference. Unfortunately, Microsoft has kind of been floundering for the past couple years with the Xbox One, so I don't have a ton of predictions for this conference. I'm really not sure what they could do, but I have some interesting thoughts, I think, that I could make a few predictions out of. So my first prediction for the Xbox is an Xbox One Slim model, or some sort of revision to the console. That said, however, I still think that Microsoft is in a really good position to release a new revision of the console, like an upgrade to the console, a 4K version maybe, with Oculus integration possibly. The sales for the Xbox One are no longer being reported. I can't imagine it's selling too well these days. Gears of War 4 still hasn't come out. They'll see a boost then, I can guarantee that. I mean, that's probably when I'll buy mine, but Scorpio has been rumored, which is the code name for the new Xbox. It's been rumored for the past few months, and I mean, so is the PS4K Neo, or whatever you want to call that. So I think Microsoft is in a good position now to announce it, because sales are low, they need to generate more, so it just seems likely. I mean, they have nothing to lose at this point. What do they have to lose? Their adoption rate is really low, so they may as well upgrade the console and sell something that is better than the PS4 in their eyes. I also believe that we're going to see the next Red Dead game coming out of the Microsoft press conference, simply because of how well the game sold on Xbox 360. I mean, it was definitely the console of choice throughout the entire last generation, didn't matter what game you were playing. Xbox 360 sold way more than PlayStation 3, and Rockstar, I mean, GTA 4 sold really well on it, Red Dead sold really well on it, so I just have a feeling that Microsoft can get Rockstar to announce it on that console, so I expect to see the Red Dead announcement at the Microsoft press conference. That's if we get a Red Dead announcement at all. I believe that it'll be at the Microsoft press conference for sure. This is a weird one. I have a feeling that we're going to get an Xbox Live price cut. The Xbox One has not sold well at all. I've said that a few times in this video already, and I said it a whole lot in my E3 discussion video, the last video that I uploaded. So I feel like they could probably cut the price on Xbox Live to maybe entice people to come over, because when you buy a console these days, you're not just buying a console, you are also very likely to pick up a subscription for the online service. Now, console online service subscriptions are dumb. I still don't understand why they do it. Makes no sense to me. We have never paid online subscriptions on PC, and if we have, the game doesn't survive. I mean, that's aside from MMOs. That's aside from MMOs. I just mean, like, for me to play Counter-Strike online, I don't need to buy a subscription to something on Steam. I just buy Counter-Strike and I play. It's that simple. So having some sort of price cut to Xbox Live could be a really interesting announcement, and they came out with backwards compatibility last year, so it's not like Microsoft doesn't make wild announcements. It's possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. So we'll see. All right, for the Sony conference, I have a good deal of predictions. This is probably the most anticipated conference of E3 as far as all the press conferences go. They had the E3 of Dreams last year with Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue 3, and The Last Guardian, as well as Horizon Zero Dawn. They just had a wonderful, wonderful showing last year, and they need to follow it up this year. Can they do that? I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to live up to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, that just seems impossible to me, but who knows? So the first prediction for PlayStation, I think, is pretty obvious. I want to see Crash Bandicoot 5. I feel like in order to follow up on the nostalgia factor from Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 3 from last year. We need Crash. Sean Layden, at I believe his PlayStation Experience last year, was wearing a Crash Bandicoot shirt, and, well, yeah, you can't read into everything. He could have just been trolling us and, like, lying to us by wearing that shirt. It's just too much. And it was playable in Uncharted 4. Spoiler, but there was a mission very early on when you're in Drake's house, and you play Crash Bandicoot 1. I can't remember if it's an actual level from Crash 1. It could be. Crash 1 is not, super fresh in my mind. 2 and 3 are much more memorable to me. But for them to put that game into another game, it's just too likely. I feel it coming. I feel Crash Bandicoot 5 coming, especially with that. So I really hope we see it. My next prediction is probably a little wild. I believe we're going to see the release date for the first episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake. We know it's episodic, or at least chapter, or however Square Enix wants to sell it. I really believe that we're going to get the release date for the first one. I was astounded that we saw gameplay footage of Final Fantasy VII Remake in action at PlayStation Experience last year. I didn't see that coming. I figured that we wouldn't see gameplay till 2017 at the earliest. But we got it, and it seemed kind of polished. I mean, who knows? Final Fantasy Versus 13 was shown for years and years and years, and it's still not out. Like, Final Fantasy 15 isn't coming out for another few months, but almost 10 years since the reveal of that game, and now we're finally getting it. So, I don't know, but I just really feel like they've probably been working on this a whole lot longer than we know, and maybe we get it. I really firmly, in my heart, believe we will get a release date for the first episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I hope it happens. So here's an interesting one. I don't think Sony's going to fully announce PlayStation 4K in a big way, or PlayStation 4 Neo. I think that they're just going to mention it and move on. It'll be something like, hey, we're releasing a revision of the console in the future. It'll have upgraded graphics and a better GPU and a CPU. It'll be more geared towards a VR integration or something like that. They're just going to mention it in passing and keep going. That's more of like a PlayStation Experience or a CES announcement, I feel. When you're upgrading tech specs, E3 is not the time to do that. E3 is more about the games and what the current console can do. Unless you're releasing a new generation, you don't really talk about stuff like that. And living up to last year, the E3 of Dreams, I feel like that's going to do more harm than good. So I don't think Sony's going to announce the PS4 Neo in a full capacity at E3. Another follow-up to last year, I think that they're going to give us a firm release date for The Last Guardian. If they don't do it at this point, I feel like it's too long. We've seen the game. Edge magazine just got a pretty good preview of it, and I feel like with that news coming out from their preview, it's time for a date. If they don't give us a date, I feel like it's going to be tough for them to sell, because we've been waiting for this since 2009, and them telling us last year that it's coming out this year, I feel like it's got to be a date. It just has to be. If they're going to show it at all, we need a date. They can't just show it and not say anything. We need a firm date. So for my last prediction of the PlayStation conference, I think we're going to see some sort of price cut on PlayStation 4. I don't think $299 is the price. I think it might be $329. We have bundles out there right now for $349. So releasing it with VR, if they're going to bundle that whole thing together, they got to make it a good price, because the bundle right now, or advertised bundle right now, for the PlayStation VR headset, the camera, and the Move controllers, and the PlayStation VR Worlds game, whatever that game's called, is $500. So a brand new adopter to PlayStation 4 who also wants to get VR, they need some sort of really enticing bundle. And VR is expensive, don't get me wrong. I don't think they should cut the price just to get it out the door or anything, but cutting the price on the console lessens the investment risk for people who are brand new to PS4. So a price cut on the console, I do believe, is coming. I don't think we're going to get a revision, like a PS4 Slim. The console, I'm looking at it right now, the console is a good size. I mean, it's smaller, I believe it's smaller than the Xbox 360 Slims that we have out now, if it's not the same size. Don't quote me on that, but it looks similar just from the eye. But I don't think a Slim is coming for PS4 at all. And speaking of VR, I think we're going to get a firm release date for the PlayStation VR headset. Right now, it's September or October of this year, but I think we're going to get a firm date on that at this E3. Last but not least, we have the Nintendo stream. It's not a conference. They don't have a direct planned, I don't think, so whatever they do announce is going to be on the Treehouse stream, unless they have some secret Nintendo Direct that's going to come out. But I feel like at this point, it's June 9th. E3 starts in 2 days, or 3 days on Sunday. I think we would have known about it by now. So, I think we're going to get a Nintendo 3DS price cut. I think it's too expensive still, especially with the new Pokemon coming out. And if this is like the last couple of years of this handheld, this is the time for a price cut right now. I think we're also going to see a Wii U price cut. That console is still at retail $299. Yes, you get a game or two with it, but we need a standalone console at $249 or $200. It's time to cut the price on that damn thing. It's ridiculous at this point. Plus, with the NX coming out, why not, you know? And then finally from Nintendo, I don't think we're getting a Zelda release date, because if we were, we'd also be getting an NX release date, and they've already stated that there will be no NX news at E3 this year, so I don't think either of those things are coming. Alright guys, so that's it for my E3 predictions for 2016. If you guys have predictions, leave them in the comments. I'd love to discuss it with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you didn't, we'll see what happens. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at SJCage. Be sure to visit my new website, SweetJohnnyCage.com. Alright guys, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.